And we're back with Going Corn Season 2 episode, what is it, Caleb? 5? 4? 5? I don't know, one of those two. We'll get it done somehow, some way. All right, so in this show, we're going to recap the first couple weeks of the season. It's our first show for the season. Caleb decided he wanted to go gallivanting in Florida for some reason.
I did.
Yes, and...
Made some moves out there.
Anyway,
some moves.
Let me introduce the pepperoni to my pizza, my co-host, Caleb. How are we doing tonight?
That would be me. Good.
Good.
Got a lot to talk about. It was a controversy-riddled first 2 weeks.
Oh, boy.
Some controversy.
And I know Caleb's upset from today for other reasons we won't go into.
Oh, boy, we're not going to get into that. No.
But anyway, not girl troubles this time, though, so that's always
surprising, right?
Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to open it up for the first couple minutes here, talk about first couple weeks. So after week 1, a lot of teams were kind of settled in. A lot of crazy stuff happened. 25-20 game, which I was a part of.
Was the wind blowing out there? Or?
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe just a little.
So, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and kind of go into week 2 matchups and talk about those, and we'll look at how everyone finished there at the end. So, you want to get right into it?
Yeah, I'll hop in at the 6:15 game. So, the first game on Harambe, the TV game, the Clams pulled out a 3-2 win against the Sliders with the wind blowing in. The Clams had Matt Dykstra. Who else did the Clams have? What free agents did they pick up?
Bazia.
They had Bazia
and Kyle Schaff.
And Kyle Schaff, that's right. The Badgers pulled out an 8-6 win against the Bombers on PNC. We're going to talk about the Bombers.
Big early win,
yeah. The Dusters, in a surprising turnaround, beat the Flying Hawaiians 10-9 and Wrigley.
Yeah, that was another.
Your thoughts?
That game was, their number 1 pick finally showed up.
Right, exactly.
And then, the other 6 o'clock game we can skip, though. So we don't need to know the other 6.
Right. The fourth game, 6:15, my Liners beat the Sultans of Soy 8-7 on Fenway with wind blowing out to right. And then the Sluggers beat the Narwhals 23-0 on minute.
And 7:30 games. So we'll save that other one for last. But the Truckers finally get their first win of the season at Minute Maid Park against the Sliders 3-0. Sultans having a struggling from the mound yet again, losing 13-3. Couldn't quite hit in that one. That was at Wrigley, and at Fenway we had the matchup of the Detmar brothers finally against each other.
Right.
The Bombers and Sluggers. The Bombers took out a 12-4 win on that one. And then moving along to PNC, we had the Hawaiians beating my Narwhals 8-1. And then the big game of the night, I'd say probably the best game of the night in my opinion, the Dusters and Liners. Thrilling extra inning game, almost ended on a pitch. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that was...
We can get into that, but
right.
Yeah, that was crazy games. So we're going to look at here standings for the first 2 weeks. So starting off at the bottom, we got the Narwhals, 0-4. Then we got the Sliders at 0-3.
The Bombers are 1-3, the Truckers at 1-2, and then into the top 7 spots.
And this is out of the death bracket. We got the Soy and Flying Hawaiians both at 2-2.
Squints and Bush League at 2-1.
And then we got the rounding off. We have the Clams and Dusters at 3-1. And who would have thought the Liners at 4-0?
I thought.
No, okay.
I thought.
Caleb's getting real cocky now because he's won a couple games with some wind blowing out.
No, wind blowing in.
And in.
Straight
sorry.
In.
Yeah, that's right.
In.
Yeah, that first week game, Caleb did beat my team the first week too. Yeah, they're playing pretty well right now. We'll see how that works, but lot to get into. So what?
Right.
So Caleb, I'll open it up to you first. Kind of, what are your thoughts after the first couple weeks? What are some of the storylines you'd say from Leroy this year?
Yeah, to be honest, and we talked about this in a few of our preview shows. We did not know what to expect. I think the past few years it's been good because we've had kind of an understanding of what we had. We had 6 to 8 teams. We had a core group of guys. But then this past year when we expanded to 11 teams, I know there was a ton of, I don't know if doubt's the right word, but just like uneasiness about what was going to happen. I think the first storyline, and this goes out credit to the recruitment committee and also Tim, is we're having a lot of people come out to play.
Oh, my goodness, man. It's crazy.
And
I love it.
Right. And I think that's something we have to acknowledge off the bat is that in and of itself is playing a huge role in some of these games. You look at a team like the Clams, right, with only having Matt there. Really, I mean, Sitter showed up a week, but you've only had Matt. You've had no Austin Gibson, no Lauren Ashby. Reason cited being uncomfortable. But interesting thought there. But free agents have played a huge role so far. You look at Bazia as being on top of the hitting categories. I mean, you want to get into that a little bit? What are you thinking about that?
The free agents, they have to be the story of the year so far. I mean, if you look at just everyone who's come, and it's shaped some teams, the first couple weeks, with some people missing and some people still being at college or missing some games. It's been a definite big swing. I don't think you can downplay that because the Sluggers had, 2 better hitters and one of the best pitchers in Jim Tucker to come in. That was probably a big thing for them this week. And then, the Clams, I don't know if they would have won games without Bazia there.
No. Yeah, and then tied along into that, so a lot of these free agents, I mean, teams are getting multiple free agents. Now, if you're listening to this, everybody knows the rules, but up until June, you have to have 3 players on your team rostered in order to not get hit with a penalty. We haven't gotten as owners yet the sheet with all the penalty markdowns yet for this week. But after this week,
I don't want to look at it, but
but it's the unfortunate reality we as owners all have to look at. And for those of you listening, kind of as players and even owners understanding this too, it may not affect it right now because you only need 3, and we still haven't been able to pick up free agents. But I think another storyline that's starting to emerge.
This week's huge.
Is some owners are going to have a monster advantage on the waiver wire from a salary cap perspective, and some owners, kind of like Marty, maybe even Matt, are going to be in the hole with the amount of cap they can use. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's going to be hitting me too hard. I mean, with just with me not having Rob and then what would eventually be Zach Wisniewski because made that trade. The salary is going to be a big thing because especially for Marty and Matt, they don't have a lot of cap in general. Right. They were already
tight.
I mean, Marty I think was negative still.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're going to be struggling for free agents, but I mean, there's so many free agents though. Right. It should be able to kind of even out.
Yep.
And this week is huge because now those guys have played 4 games over the last 2 weeks that have showed up will be able to be signed this week. So
exactly.
It's going to be a big kind of shaking and moving. So next week I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about in terms of new players on teams and
moves.
Yeah.
I think one other storyline worth discussing too and moving back and forth about is just how the gameplay feel is different. I mean, in the past 2 years, we've had pitching dominance. We've had teams assembled, especially early on, where you get 2 or 3 guys on your team that can pitch, and it's going to be a tight game even if the wind's blowing out. The way Tim structured teams this year is that you're not going to find one single team that has a dominant pitching staff top to bottom.
No.
And I think one thing that's been interesting to see, especially for me playing, is that you go to every team, there's 1 or 2 guys on the team that you can get to. And I think this back and forth game of understanding who am I going to pick up, who's going to minimize damage versus who are we going to try to hit off of has been key in the first few weeks because you look at the scoreboard. I mean, you look at all these games we've seen. When have we ever had so many games where it's 9-8, 15-6? You get 11-10, 10-9, 8-6, 9-5. The pitching dominance just isn't there anymore. And while there are
it's
a
just
few
spread
people,
out,
right?
Yeah, because there's more owners that are in the case of the Badgers 2 years ago, they had Marty and Jared.
Yep.
Who was Marty on last year? He was on the
The Bashers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Big Unit Bashers.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, with him, he was there with Wes and Lucas.
Yeah.
So,
Gosh.
I mean, and those guys, yeah. An owner and 2 first-round picks on that team, which is insane. But, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, though, it's just, yeah, that's the thing. It's all spread out.
Right.
Now, if you had to look, I think that's why the Clams were looked at as such a high, thing, because they looked at that as probably the best pitching staff.
Yep.
Out of all of it. But, yeah, you've kind of come to find out, Matt's arm's still hurting, and,
right.
People are kind of regressing a little bit. But that's the first 2 weeks of the season, too, so it's always kind of a, toss-up the first couple weeks. But
right.
the wind does play. It's crazy.
Factor. Until it dies down. I mean, it won't die down until we get into June and July, but first few weeks are always crazy. So,
hey, no wind outs this year.
We've had great
Thank
weather.
Goodness. I know.
Mean, minus the rain, but I mean, it wasn't even that bad to where we
the
couldn't
rain
play.
delay for 20 minutes.
Oh man, that was crazy. But yeah, I mean, I just think that another big area. I mean, we could go into 8 or 9 different topics, but I think another thing that is important is the emphasis on fielding. I mean, you look at my team.
Oh my gosh.
My team specifically. I mean, outside of me, we don't really have anyone else that's going to blow
a lot of
you
bad
away.
fielders.
Right. And well, I'm just talking about from a pitching perspective.
Oh,
you
no,
look at
yeah.
me, we don't have anybody on our team that's a strikeout machine other than me.
Yeah.
And the importance of having people behind you that can make plays is huge.
Yeah, it's a really big thing.
I've seen it in a few of the games I've played.
Oh, there's been
errors
that's
on
been
errors.
my thing. You know, it's just not having, and for me too, it's like we played so late into the night. Like my teams have just, so it's just impossible to see the ball, and second of all, it's just like, yeah, the fieldings, you have to be on point because there's, like you said, not a lot of. I mean, Tapper hit a home run off of Brett's fast stuff.
Right.
Like, people are,
Yeah.
It's not like people are slouching anymore, and people kind of see hitter. It's like in Major League Baseball, people see hitters and pitchers for a long time. It's just they finally start to pick it up after a while. But
so when you look at the standings as where we're at right now, overall for the league, what stands out to you? I mean, we've got all the statistics here for the team's perspective. I mean, if you go to the standings and then you look at the statistics for the teams, what jumps out on the screen for you early? I mean, what's something that when you look at that, you think, I did not expect to see that?
Well, honestly, though, I think a lot of this is what I expected, except for the Diamond Dusters.
Okay.
They're 3-1, and without, they didn't have Al their first week.
Yeah.
But Marty's doing everything he can. He's playing really hot right now.
He is. He's carrying a big load.
Yeah, and he's being his team right now, and that's something that he kind of stepped up and did. But for the most part, I've kind of the Bombers. Can we get into that? Like 1 and 3 start.
So, and this is interesting too. The thing that I've always said about the Bombers is they win close games, right? Because of their pitching, because they've had Brett and Eric. Now, you go look at their run differential. The thing that stands out of that screen to you is they're 1 and 3 with an even differential. They have 26 runs and 26 runs against. That's their hitting. Brett has usually drafted the same team. Their hitting is consistent to what they've always done, but their runs allowed are way up. Yeah. And the reason why Brett would always win is because in those close games, he'd keep that differential low. And that's what's going to be interesting going forward is Brett has never had to be at a place where he's needed to score more than 2 or 3 runs a game to win.
Yeah, I think that's the big shocker for me is that one.
Yeah.
But Sultans, I think, just need to play together.
Yeah.
That's like, that would be the other
Sultans,
surprise, 2 and 2, because everyone kind of had them. It was the Clams, Sultans, and Badgers, right, as the top 3.
Yeah.
And so I think, them being 2 and 2 and slotted into the 7 spot right now.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks.
Right.
It's a little bit shocking. They had their full team there last week, though, so we'll see if, Robbie makes some moves or if they can just start playing better together. So.
Yeah. One thing that sticks out on the screen to me, too, from a differential perspective is the Truckers. They've only given up 17 runs.
That's quite amazing.
With that group? Well, I mean,
yeah,
you
I know.
know.
It is. Yeah,
I have to throw it out to the commish. He's throwing great. He hasn't given up a run.
That's
throwing great.
That's collusion. That has to be collusion.
You can't hate on the man. He's found his pitch. I mean,
he has a strike board extender.
He pulls it out. He pulls it out. Yeah, that's for sure. I'd say one other thing is probably the Badgers. I mean, 8 runs allowed.
Oh man,
in 3 games.
Yeah,
that's pretty dirty. Especially with, I mean, you expect that from West. I think Jared's pitching a lot better this year, as well as Ryan Barnes. So, statistically, I think a few things too that are looking different is like Bazia is just tearing. I mean, he's tearing.
He's ripping a new one.
He's almost 200 points higher from a slugging percentage perspective than anyone else in the league.
Yeah, he is.
He's hitting .567, 11 homers and 17 RBI. Now, I did talk to him, and he said he's played on the field with the wind blowing out almost every single game. So, I mean, that helps.
Yeah, at least he knows that. He's, kind of
right.
Aware of how things are.
Right.
But, I mean, even if you look at these pitching numbers here, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned, 11 strikeouts.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's and he gave up a home run. That was his only earned run was a
homer.
Yep. So he's doing really well.
Yeah. And he'll be a big addition to whoever picks him up.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be huge. I mean, when you look at the whole too, I mean, for the statistics, I mean, you look at the leaders for the teams. One thing that stands out to me is look at Squints from a pitching perspective. They're at 16 hits. I mean, they've played less games. I'll give them that. But that's huge, especially with the way our league is set up right now, is that you keep people off the bases. I mean, especially with how many balls are being put in play, that helps a ton. So you got some other notables. The Clams are leading a lot of the hitting statistics, primarily because of their 25-run game.
Hey, the Narwhals are leading on this list.
Hey,
batter's face.
Right. Right.
With
exactly.
142.
Yeah.
Not even close. It's the next 109. Wow.
So tell me how the Hawaiians are leading the league in pitching strikeouts.
Okay.
Please tell me
how. You have to look at who they faced last week in the Narwhals. There was a lot of strikeouts that game.
There were a lot there. Okay.
Yeah, because our number 1 hitter that game struck out about 6 times, I think. I struck out another 3 or 4.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So that's that.
But, yeah, I mean, it's about, honestly, it really is close to what I was kind of expecting for the most part.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, the biggest surprise has to be the Bombers for me.
Okay.
Just 1-3. Still, I heard the rumor that Jake Van Vuren just forgot about wiffle ball last Wednesday. He was on Cedar Lake and just forgot.
He just forgot.
That's what I heard.
Interesting.
Rumor mill.
I'm not surprised, per se, but just forgot.
So, yeah. So, I mean,
I think, I'll be honest, my big surprise has been us. Not going to lie. I mean, I didn't expect.
Here we go.
I didn't expect Justin to be playing as well as he is and James to be coming alongside him as well in that. I mean, we don't have hitting perspective, we're not even close to top 5 in homers. I think we only have 3 or 4, but they're getting on base a ton and they're doing really well in that perspective. I think my other surprise probably has to be with where the Clams are at. With how not having Sitter both weeks, not having Austin Gibson at all, and Matt's arm not being what it is. Matt's done a really good job. I mean, he's gotten help from some good free agents, but I mean, being 3-1 without having your 2 best players, well, no, Matt's their best player, but without having your 2 and 3 there hurts. I mean, that's crazy. So, but you see anything else?
No, I mean,
no.
That's about it really for that. I mean, now kind of time to look ahead, I think, a little bit.
Yep.
If we look at the schedule for next week, we got some big games coming up.
Yep.
Somehow the Liners got easy schedule this week, but anyway, so do we want to do the full preview right now?
Nah, let's go through it real quick.
All right.
And then we can take a quick break and come back.
All right, cool. So we're going to preview some games here, and then we'll come back and look at a little more in-depth of who we think is going to win. Different from Fireside Chat, we're not going to keep records on anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, go check them out, though. They got weekly segments now,
Absolutely.
right before game day.
Yep.
All right, so 6:15, the Harambe game is going to be the Liners and the Truckers.
Yep.
Two games in a row for the Liners on
Harambe.
Maybe we'll actually see that game televised.
Hopefully
Yeah.
it'll be there.
The next game
On PNC will be the Bombers against the Narwhals. Hopefully Greg has a new revamped team after this week. Rumor mill.
Rumor mill. Fake news.
At Austin Warner.
Okay, the Sluggers. Next up, we got the Sluggers and the Sultans of Soy at Wrigley. That's going to be a good game, I think. Two teams kind of trying to find themselves. Squints played pretty well first couple games, but now they have a test
for them. That'll be a real test for them. You got the Dusters against the Badgers at Minute Maid. Anything can go at Minute Maid. Wind may be blowing out, wind may be blowing in.
And if you're like Eric, you can hit it over the right field fence.
Since
where
it's 60
it
feet.
touches the top and just rolls over.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
And then rounding off at Fenway is going to be the Sliders and Hawaiians. So let's see if the Sliders get a win in that one.
And then at 7:30 on Fenway, you've got a grudge match against the Sheriff and Greg. Badgers against Narwhals.
I think this is the one he's been looking forward to the most.
Absolutely.
But
it's not even a question.
Well, and then on his birthday, we get to face him on Harambe.
Wow.
On the television game.
Oh, wow.
So
he's gonna have a thrill there.
I'm sure he's going to hit a lot of home runs that
Just
game.
Plenty of dingers.
But yeah, so next up would be the Clams and Truckers at Minute Maid. See how that works out.
The Sliders and the Liners on Wrigley. Hopefully John doesn't show.
I want him to come and just destroy Deckinga and Hayworth.
I think he might have dance class that night. Not sure.
Go check out Leroy Wiffle on Twitter if you don't know that reference.
Yeah.
If you're listening for the first time.
Yeah.
So, Dusters and Sluggers. That should be another good game.
Yep.
Another good game on PNC. Well, then it's on PNC, so that makes it just...
Yeah.
I've got so many games on PNC. It drives me nuts.
Right.
At least I have the daylight game on PNC this week.
Yeah.
And not the one light game. Shane had a home run last week. I didn't even know where it went. I just was like, okay.
Okay, it's fine.
I heard him hit the ball, and I said, okay, I don't know where it went.
Yeah, there you
Threw
go.
up my hands and said, Zaidama, did you see it? No. Okay. It's over the fence.
And then the last game at Harambe, TV game.
Rest in peace
Tap
to my boy,
piece.
Harambe.
Tap piece, and Robbie will go head-to-head, Hawaiians against Sultans. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We've got some of our original segments for you. We're going to hit you on the flip side.
The flippity flop.
See you in a bit.
And we're back with the second half of the show. Now,
they had us in the first half, not going to lie. But the second half, ooh.
Okay,
know
now
about the second
Caleb's
half.
just getting weird.
Huh.
So, we made an executive decision in the strenuous long break that we just had. We're not going to preview games as much unless we have some we really want to talk about. We're going to kind of leave that for Fireside Chat, so please go check them out. Listen to their segments. Tim's okay at times, I guess. So
He's all right.
don't listen to this week's show, though. Just skip this one. The guest isn't that good, so you should just skip on.
Who's
that
the
next
guest?
one. Oh, you know.
Is it you?
No. It's the man with a beverage as a last name. The guy who can't stop bashing on the Narwhals.
Coffee.
The guy who hates the podcast. That
Carl!
Yes.
It's Carl! It's Mr. Coffee. Wow. Hey,
That
Carl.
jerk.
Hey,
So-
Carl.
Anyway.
Hey, Carl. All right. So
Anyway,
first segment
so,
we're gonna hop into
yeah.
is hot or not. We're gonna grab 3 guys in the league that are smoking, that are cooking with fire, and then 3 people in the league that
Cooking with oil.
we would rather not play with or see. So, hot or not,
Rather not see.
or play with.
Oh, goodness.
One of the two. It's just ugly.
Oh.
All right. So number 1, hot. Greg, who's your first hot player?
My first hot player. I'm going to take the obvious one. I know I said I wouldn't. I'm going to take Jackson.
You're a liar.
I know.
You said you were gonna not take the obvious one.
I just one. I just need one.
You're a liar.
Jackson Bazia, smoking hot, leading a lot of the boards in hitting. We already talked about him a little bit, so I don't have to go into much depth. But yeah, he could be a game changer for somebody if whoever can sign him, depending on the salary. He might be up there in Caleb's stratosphere, but if you want to spend half
right
your salary, but.
Yeah.
So who's your first hot player?
Gotta stick with my boys. Jay Deckinga.
Oh,
Jay Smooth. Jay Money.
Oh, is your next one going to be Hayworth and then Gramala?
Don't sleep. Gromala's
And
hot
then-
regardless. Okay, she's always hot. Do you have her on Snapchat?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So Deckinga's hot. He's playing really, really well right now. He's finding ways to get on base. ERA's low. He's 2.40 for us. Hitting the strike zone. It's very simple. Hit the zone and let your fielders go make some plays. So Deckinga's hot. My second hot player, kind of one that'll take you by surprise. He's only played 2 games, but he looked really good against us. Is John Enningenberg. Right now he's at a slugging percentage, looking at about 1.077. I think he has 4 homers, maybe 4 or 5.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty high. So he looked really good in our first 2 games. That's going to be a good pickup for Robbie. Pitching has to come around. He'll get there, though. I think John's hot right now for the Sultans.
He's a big fella. He'll finish it
He'll
out.
figure it out. Who's your second hot player?
I have to go with Marty.
Okay.
Just because of what he did the first week to finish 2-0.
Yeah.
And then almost come back and win that game.
Yeah.
Now, we had mentioned it earlier, so if it wasn't broadcast and you won't ever see this game ever.
Yeah.
But what happened was it was the 5th inning, bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah.
Runners on bases loaded. Bases
were
loaded. There was a runner on first. Or
First
no,
and second.
there was a runner on second and third.
Yeah. He put
A
him on
ghost
second.
runner on first.
Yeah.
Now, Jason Hilligans, Jack's cousin,
Mhm.
up to the plate, hits the ball towards second base, up the middle. The person on third comes in to score. The person on second's running around. And in the meantime, though, somebody steps. Justin Deckinga decides to tap the ball on second base.
Yep. A completely
Now-
legal play
Yeah.
with bases loaded.
But now the question was, well, the runner, the ghost runner, was on first, so how do we know if he's out
Or safe.
or not? And that was the last out, too. There's 2 outs in this situation.
Right.
So
5-4.
it almost ended on a pitch, but Caleb and Marty said that's not a way to end it, so they declared a tie, went to extra innings, and then Caleb somehow hit a home run over the fence. It was one of those that, again, it landed on top of the fence and just kind of fell over.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
the wind was howling in. He found the one spot in the field where it just decided not to
Holland.
blow in as
Yeah.
much.
And it went out. We ended up winning 9-5. Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, I would say Marty, though, just because of the way he's fought through these first 4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in a spot to win it, being down there in the last inning. How much were they down by?
5-1.
Yeah, so they're down by 4, and they,
runs. Yep.
came back to tie it,
Yep.
which shows a lot.
Yeah. And PSA going forward, you need to put your ghost runners on the closest bases.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we
I
can't.
think Tim's going to make that announcement at the next.
Yeah.
I love how he did that, too. He announced some rules from week 1.
That
We
was-
had some controversy there, too, because
Clean that
my
up.
game almost ended on a pitch last week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think Marty would agree. Everyone that was watching it, you can't end a game that good on a pitch one
no.
way or another
But-
if we would have won or lost. So I think
But
that was
that's
the right
my
move
hot.
to make. Yeah.
So who's
Yep.
your third hot then?
Surprisingly, free agent Brian Travis.
Brian Travis, yeah.
Brian Travis looked really good. And don't get me wrong, don't jump off the deep end. He's got some flaws in his game. He's not the best
Yeah, well,
pitcher. But for being a free agent who's never come and play before, he has some serious potential. If he gets an owner that'll work with him, that'll teach him a few pitches, that'll teach him about approach, I think he could
and
be
here's
really,
Caleb's
really good.
pitch that he's trying to sign Brian Travis. He's going to be too high for you, bro. Don't worry about it.
We'll see.
So, that was your third hot person.
Yep.
I'm going to have to go with another Griffle ball player. I'm going to say Jim Tucker.
Okay.
I think though these two guys coming the first 2 weeks have made a huge difference for a couple of teams. It cost him a win, he said. He had him play for the Sultans. Tucker played for the Sultans first week.
Yeah.
And they ended up winning both of those games,
Yep.
and he got the save against the Truckers. So
Yeah.
he's been kind of big, and his hitting's pretty good too. He's always he's been a good hitter in Griffle ball, and now it's kind of translated over as well.
Right.
So
Right.
for me, I would have to say those three are my hots. Now, gonna get into the knots.
Knots.
I'll start this off.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this up front. I hope this person still comes and gets better and tries and enjoys the league.
Yeah.
But man is not is Colin Peters.
Really?
No. He played on my team this week, and
Yeah.
it was a rough go for him.
Yeah.
He said he played baseball in high school. I think he needs to get some swings in the cage. I mean, I was horrible too.
Yeah, right.
I mean, honestly, I probably put myself on the not list too. I mean, I was horrible last week.
Yeah.
And so was the whole team. But
Right.
I hope he comes back out. But yeah, he's definitely on my not list when you
list.
go 0 for the day and
for the day.
yeah.
Oh man, that was not a move.
So
Yeah, my first not player, and makes me sad to say this because this was my guy, but Warner, man.
Warner?
Warner.
Really? I don't think he's playing that bad.
No, but I expected more out of him. After the year he had last year.
Okay.
He's not on the top 15 in ERA. You don't see him in the wins column. Okay. He's given up a ton of hits when he's pitching. You don't see him on any leaderboard for anything.
That's true.
Now, I'm not saying that he's supposed to be.
We kind of expected a little regression because we talked about that fielding before the season. We kind of talked about that a little bit.
Right, but when he came on, he said that wasn't going to be an issue.
That's true, yeah.
So I'm not saying that it's anywhere bad where we should all be concerned that Warner's fallen off the deep end. But at the end of the day, words are words, and you got to see what's going on. So I think Warner's got a little bit of ways to go.
7.50 ERA.
Yep.
10 strikeouts. So he's given up 5 runs over 4 innings. Looks like 2 to the Badgers, 2 to the Dusters, 1 to the Corn Bombers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I expect Warner to be an above-average player by the end of the year. So,
yeah.
Where he's at right now, I think he can do better.
Yes, yes. Who's your next one? Who's your next not person?
And this one, I think, kind of is going to hit people in a place they don't realize. My next not player is Kyle Jansma. We haven't seen him.
Out of here, man.
Of course he's not going to. He's going to be on the not list. We haven't seen him. $43 player. Haven't seen him once.
Yeah, he would be in the lineup, but Tim says he can't play just the second game.
Oh, so this is a.
I'm not saying that, and if that's fair. I mean, I get it. You don't want the free agents to just play one game, but I mean, Muscles left after.
Buzak said, "I'm gone."
He said, "I'm
See
done.
ya.
I can't be here this long. I'm out."
Yeah.
So, if he can leave, why can't somebody come in early? Oh.
Top 5 player in Leroy when he's here. Yeah, and he's not because we haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Who's your second not player?
Oh, my second not player. My second not has got to be Jordan Moselle, man.
Ooh, that's not a bad one.
I mean, he's just kind of struggled this season. I'll pull up his stats.
He's thrown a
lot
of bats. He's thrown a lot of bats.
No.
Oh man, Eglins
more
Best
than me.
has been launching them. Yes. I would say so. Although he didn't flip a bench.
Yeah, that
That was
low moment for the G-man. But no, if you look at his batting stats, he's 250 right now.
Wow.
Like, he needs to bat a lot better, I think,
Holy cow.
perform for his team.
Yeah.
Because
Wow, I didn't
he
even
needs to
realize
be the number 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
He has to be.
because the number 1 is really good when if he's gonna be there this week, and we kind of expect him to be.
Yep.
Because both the Gibsons are supposedly done with school now, and
Right.
coming back.
Yep.
So I think that's gonna be a huge thing for him, as he wants him there, and he needs to pick it up.
Yep.
I'm not saying this guy's fault. It's kind of like the same thing you said with Austin. I think he just needs to perform a little bit better
For his team to be successful. Absolutely.
We can look at his pitching stats too. I didn't really. That's the batting's kind of what stuck out. Ooh, man.
Wow.
Yeah, the batting's or the
0-1,
pitching's
12 ERA.
bad too.
Yeah.
Just one bad start. It looks like. He gave up 8 against Sultans.
Oh, wow.
Which is a good hitting team, and they gave up 1 run in 2 innings against the Clams. So
Wind blowing in there. So yeah, absolutely.
So that'd be
that's
his
a good
second
pick.
one.
It's a good pick.
Who's your third?
Not is John Monco.
Get out of
We
here
haven't
with your
seen
fake
Monco.
John Monco.
Where's John?
You can't be saying that.
Monco.
Oh, my goodness.
We haven't seen Monco. Of course he's going to be a not player. We haven't seen Monco. Where is he at? Is his rabbit okay? That's the question. His rabbit ate a Hershey's bar.
Get out of here.
His rabbit ate a whole Hershey's bar.
You are ridiculous. You are absolutely ridiculous.
Where's Dusty
I
Ryan?
hate you so much.
Where's Dusty
I
and
can't
John?
deal with you.
I hope they get drafted
You're
to the
kicked
Narwhals.
off the show.
I hope they get drafted to the Narwhals.
You're on
Dusty and
mute.
John. Monco and Dusty.
Dusty Depot. Oh, man. Well, birthplace. Okay.
His rabbit ate a Hershey's bar.
Anyway,
Come
so
on.
my real last not player, just in sheer fact of him not showing the first week.
Yeah.
It's got to be Friedman.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, man, you can't do that to your owner, dude. You got to at least tell him. Like, at least say, hey, man, I'm sorry I can't come the first week.
Right.
I think that salary hit's going to end up hurting him in the long run.
Yeah.
He and the pitching stats, man. We knew he might have had a drop-off. Those playoffs, I think, for Shane and Alex were really good against, which is still, I don't understand.
Against the Ovens.
Bad things always happens, Greg.
Oh, man.
Bad things happen to Greg. No, I'm just kidding. But, he struggled. I mean, he hits well, but he's really struggling right now. Behind the mound and just missing game 1 or the week 1, I think is going to put him on the not list for me. This could turn around real quick, but they have to hope that they can get their team there and get some salary back.
Right.
And hope that some people average out.
Yep.
But, like, after this week, it's going to be kind of, like, hard to get some salary, I think, because, I think people are starting to get it down and more people are coming. And
absolutely.
So.
Right. Yeah.
But, so that's hot and not. Now we're going to move on to one final segment here because we've been talking for a while now. We're going to do a free agent spotlight of some people that we think probably will get signed or should get signed or deserve a little bit of spotlight for the work they've been doing since we've had so many free agents this year.
Yep.
And they've been a big impact on what we've done.
Yep.
So, Caleb, would you like to highlight one or a couple?
Yeah, I think
players?
one person that, you have a few big free agent names that are being mentioned. Jim Tucker, Buzia, Colin Peters. No.
He's
Brian
not available
Travis.
to sign yet.
Brian Travis. But I think someone that's going to be available to sign that's flown under the radar is Cameron Varlin.
Oh, yeah.
I really think he could be an asset to people. He's not somebody that, is going to wow you with what he can do. But I think he's someone that you put him in the right situation, you give him the right ownership, and you allow him to learn and be able to play at his own pace. I think Cameron Varlin's going to be somebody you see up towards the top of leaderboards.
Now, is he James's friend?
It's a really good question.
Let's see if there's a picture of him.
Oh,
It is.
no,
It
that
is him.
That is James Friend.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's hitting 379. He's got 5 homers, 11 hits, 2 doubles, and 30 total bases. So he can swing the bat a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like his pitching's pretty well, too. So.
Right. 6 ERA.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I just haven't seen him play. Like, I didn't really know.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't reached out to many free agents. But, yeah, he's going to be you're right. He's looking pretty good there. So.
Yeah.
One I think has done pretty good from what I've seen and what I've kind of looked at was Jason Hilligan's mentioned him earlier.
Yep.
I think he has the potential to be a pretty good hitter. He's kind of lower salary right now, so I think he could be a big third or fourth person on a roster.
Yep.
To kind of fill out, and if he shows up,
Could be a very,
that's
very
always the
suitable
thing.
3 or a 4. Yeah.
He's been the same kind of thing. He's been 370 right now.
Yep.
Couple home runs. Gets on base there. Let's look at his pitching stats a little bit. How did he do against? You played against him.
Yeah.
I haven't played against him. But
he gave up, I think, 2 runs or 1 or 2 runs each time he pitched, and then he was putting the ball in play. So I think, he looked good. Not a 1 or a 2, but really solid.
He could definitely
3.
round out a lineup for sure.
Yeah.
As the dogs bark. Anyway, so things you get when you go to the Greg house.
Yeah.
Now, I think that is gonna do it for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. For
We've
sure.
had a show.
Yep.
We've said what we wanted.
Yep.
It's time to be.
And now we get ready for week 3.
Week 3 coming up. Big games. Be sure to check out Fireside Chat again. Be sure to check out all of our social media on Twitter, Facebook. Get on Facebook for those live games.
Yep.
Going to have some good commentating the next couple weeks.
Yes, sir.
And look forward to seeing you.
Yep.
Till next time, this has been Going Corn.
See ya.